Hi, it's Charlene, and I have some really beautiful things to play with today. I have these stunning principles from Keys of the Kingdom, and this principle focuses on Psalm 91:4 and has all these gorgeous feathers. And I especially loved the black and white feathers. There's just something about the lines and the patterns that they form that really appealed to me. I actually already journaled in Psalm 91, but as I mentioned in my last video, the theme of sheltering under God's wings runs through the whole of the book of Psalms. So I'm journaling now in Psalm 57 verse 1. This verse made me think of how we take shelter under an umbrella when it's raining. And I had this sort of mental image of an umbrella made of feathers. So I started obviously by sketching the outline of an umbrella on my page, and then I used my Faber-Castell watercolors and a thin brush to loosely paint in some lines and splashes of the rain. I'm deliberately letting the color run and form splotches in places to create a more organic feel of rain falling and droplets of water. I also just paint a wash of brown color under the umbrella just to form a ground. Before I painted in the handle of the umbrella, I actually raised my pencil line because when you put watercolor paint over pencil, it sort of sets it in place and there's really no erasing it after that. I also felt that the rain could use some more splashes, like the way rain might splash off the top of an umbrella if it's falling really hard. So I just used my finger to spray some paint along the top of the umbrella shape. For the open part of the umbrella, I'm planning to cut a shape out of some cardstock and use it as a template to stick the feathers onto to create the actual umbrella. With hindsight, I realized I probably should have drawn this template first and then used that to trace the shape of the umbrella on the page. But anyhow, I kind of ended up working backwards and having to guess and hope I got the umbrella the right size, which I did, thank goodness. I really love these black and white feathers and the way they contrast with the blue watercolor in the background. I arranged them on the umbrella template and tried to keep them as close to the shape of the umbrella as possible. There are still some really beautiful watercolor feathers in this principle, and I do have plans for those too. That will be in the next video, where I'm going to use them to make a Faith Decks card. And if you don't know what a Faith Decks card is or how to make one, watch the next video. I used my Tombow glue to stick down these feathers, and I just have to say this glue is the best ever. It sticks perfectly and it's acid free, which means it won't break down over time. It is super tacky though, and I somehow always seem to get it everywhere, but it works. When I flipped my template over and cut off all the excess pieces of the feathers, I realized that then it looked just a little bit too perfect. I still wanted to get a soft, wispy feel that you get from feathers. So after I stuck it down, with the Tombow glue of course, I used some of the offcuts and leftover feathers to add sort of, well, feathery edges. Again, with hindsight, I maybe shouldn't have cut off so much of the feathers the first time round. Sometimes when I get a picture in my head of what I want to do, it's not always so simple like actually doing it. But I still really love how this umbrella turned out. Even with all the mistakes, it ended up looking really a lot like I envisioned it. So now, sort of every time I look at this image of staying warm and dry under God's feathers, it's really clear to me that we can look to God for refuge from the storm. He is holding an umbrella out for us already. All we have to do is step under it. I decided I needed a title for this page, so I fussy cut the word refuge and also one of the really pretty watercolor feathers. And then I used my Xyron sticker maker to stickerize these. Now this sticker maker is such a nifty little gadget. It just makes life so much easier, and if you don't feel like fussing with sticky glue on your fingers, it's the way to go. But I will put a link to the sticker maker in the video description so you can go and have a look at it. once I've finished doing the title for the page, I'm also just going to underline the verse, just in case the picture of the umbrella and the feathers and the rain wasn't enough to remind me what the verse was actually about. Just kidding. But this printable is available from Keys of the Kingdom, and I will link her website and her Etsy shop in the description of the video. So you can buy this printable either off her website or from her Etsy store, and I also have a code that you can use to get a 20% discount on the printables. So you can use the code SHARVIP20. I'll put that in the description of the video as well, and that you can use to get 20% off any of her printables. So I just finish it off with this really pretty circle stamp that I have and the dates. Thanks for joining me.